I try to come once a week.
At least once a week.
Oh, once a week.
Been around every bit of it, hundreds and hundreds of times.
Oh, it's just exercise, going around Shall we go around the top of the park?
Rippled wave with gentle top always make me look and stop. Sculptured moving work of art, reflecting nature's changing chart.
One of my favourite memories of Roath Park is when I was 11 and in school we took part in filming for a show on CBeebies. We had to wear bright coloured clothes and sing and dance around different parts of the park. We filmed just outside the playground, on the big patch of grass and by the bright pink and orange flower bed. I got to present a bit at the beginning and talk about Captain Scott. It was a really hot day, and because we had to work all day in the sun, we got to have an ice cream from the van.
The boat is coming back to us now, across the pond with a nice little breeze behind it from the Scott Memorial. And although the wind is very fluky, it's still quite gratifying when you get the dynamics right. She lifts up and she flies.
I'm making up a little PVA bag. There's a bit of bait in there, a bit of tiger net. That gets cast out, that'll then dissolve into the water and leave all these nice little goodies. So hopefully a hungry little fish will come along, give that a bit of a munch and find my bait amongst it.
Well, we've run out of bread.
We've had 3 loaves of bread.
We had 3 loaves of bread. Check a bit out then.
Let's see the bit down the bottom.
And I take lots and lots of bread with me because I love feeding the birds.
Don't tell the park man that. They're not supposed to have it. They should be having grain.
The earliest memory I have of visiting the lake was being pushed around in my pram on a cold morning. Week after week, my family would take me to feed the ducks and play on the swings and slides. And in summer, picnics and water fights would be the main activities. We would always choose to sit by the trees which are planted in memory of my uncle and granddad. Now that I'm older, the lake for me is a place to visit people and catch up with my friends. Every weekend, I would go for a drink at the park's cafe with my family, which has now become my favourite part of the lake. A Diet Coke and a piece of cake. Same people, same place, good times.
Across the seats. I've always been going to get a seat for my mother and my husband, you know. And one day I came down after the winter, before I had the dog, and there were miles of seats, but I might get around to it yet.
When I go to Roath Park, I love to visit the rose gardens, especially in the summer. When the sun's shining, the roses are in bloom, so it's amazingly colourful and breathtakingly beautiful. You can smell all the weird and wonderful flowers, and the park has an amazing range of them. One of my earliest memories of Roath Park was going to the rose gardens with my sister and collecting roses that had fallen on the floor. Then we'd take the roses home, put them in a flower press and wait for them to dry out. Then we'd use the flowers to stick on cards and posters. Also, we'd collect flower petals and try and make an exotic perfume, but it never smelled quite like we wanted it to.
I love the trees, I do. Yeah, I love the trees. Yes. I always go to the trees.
Trees are lovely.
Yeah.
And we've actually brought people who are expert in the subject, and they've just freaked out looking at this lot. They said they're trees they'd only read about in books.
Yeah. Bent over tree.
Looks a bit like something out of Chinese drawing or something like that.
Trees like sentinels surreal, give the lake a guarded feel, overlooking from their height the waves that glisten in the light.
I went to the park with my Bampi a lot, and he used to tell me Shere Khan lived in the wild gardens, amongst all the trees and shadows, hiding in the darkness. I absolutely loved The Jungle Book. I must have watched the film hundreds of times, but I never got bored. Shere Khan was the tiger, a bit frightening and secretive, but he captivated me every time. We'd walk all through the woods, calling, Shere Khan, where are you? Until my Bambi decided he must be hiding. Then, as we were walking out towards the park, he'd whisper, look, there he is. Of course, I'd always just miss him.
I take my grandson. We saw 3 herons the other day.
We're hoping to see a moorhen. Plenty of coots, but not many moorhens.
Oh, we haven't seen a moorhen every time we've come round.
There's too many swans and birds. Need to cull them a bit because
Oh,
of
yeah.
all the mess when you walk around.
You wouldn't dare swim in there now because the algae's not safe, apparently.
It would be nice.
Lovely.
If you could, it would be nice.
They closed swimming. They used to have swimming over there. We used to have huts over there. And I came the last time before they closed Roath Park for swimming. And I was covered with mosquitoes. It must have been 55 years ago. I mean, you can't believe that I ever swam here, but I did.
This is ideal because they've got nature, they've got animals, they've got people to talk to, different children to play with, different cultures, and they love it. They absolutely love it. And for me, it's a break because they're all busy, they're all happy, and I can talk to other people and I can meet other people.
I like the view because it's unspoilt.
Patterned, patchworked, scalloped down, the surface heaving without sound. No lapping can be heard, no cry. As each wave lives, it's soon to die. Its birth was only for a second, and I was there to see it happen. No one else will ever see the waves that lived life just for me.
It's absolutely brilliant.
They've got it just right, haven't they?